G-Man Boxing. Do you know what I mean? Every single live he donates. I see him on other lives donating. He's got the bag on it.
Alright people, midweek report time. So, there's been enough of news breaking that we can get, I think, a decent enough video. About 20 minutes into this. So, actually, before I go any further, tomorrow, because I haven't done one of these in a while, hopefully tomorrow, round about 7:30, if everything goes swimmingly and I get home on time, let's do a live. Let's chat a bit about boxing, because I haven't done a proper live. In weeks, way before Christmas, so we get them back going, because I kind of missed it. Like, I was thinking of doing one today, but it just, things came up and I just couldn't get a chance to. So hopefully tomorrow we can get one in, because I haven't done one in ages and I missed them. And I know people to be asking me, when's the next time you're going live, and just things come up and stuff like that. And there's some days, just truth be told, I just be thinking, look, get a video out and I'm good to go. But obviously in the new year, it's full steam ahead on here, and I want to keep active as much as I can. Obviously people know I'm fairly active on here, but I want to try and increase it, if you know what I mean, as if that's possible. But I'm sure I can, just to get at least a video out a day, if not 2-3. That's the plan anyway. Obviously, as you can see by the thumbnail, I'm changing the thumbnails up a little bit as well. And I think with the new year, with everything that's been going on the channel, the fact we're nearly at 10k now, I just kind of, I guess, I know I'm going off on a tangent here before I even get into things, but I guess in the last year, I kind of was, I don't want to say I wasn't doing videos that I enjoyed. I always enjoy doing them, but I think I'm going to just try to do a little bit more of what I want as well. So probably some more documentaries and kind of things like that, and just kind of snippets of news from shorts, and really just going to be saying it as it is. And again, like, if people don't like it, tough, you know what the door is. So that's kind of what we're looking to do in this year. But obviously I want to get more lives in, 100% more lives in. Watch along for Liam Smith versus Chris Eubank Jr. In fact, actually, I wonder if they have it on BoxRec, because they got a couple of fights announced and that's what we'll start with Liam Smith versus Chris Eubank Jr. And I gotta say, lads, the undercard, look, I said it myself. I was like, when they put this on pay-per-view, I was like, look, I like the fight. It is a good fight. I'll give them that. It is. It's a good fight. It is a good fight. I think Liam Smith, stylistically, you'd say he's tailor-made for Eubank Jr. You would, from a stylistic point of view, say he is a bit tailor-made. However, I do think he's better than any other pressure fighter Chris Eubank Jr. has fought. He's more sophisticated than Spike O'Sullivan. He's got more gas in the tank than Arthur Abraham. He's better than Nick Blackwell. Who else? He's better. Oh, he's much better than Anthony Yildirim. He's much better than him. So I think that in terms of pressure fighters, Liam Smith is going to be the best Eubank's fought. And it's going to be interesting. Eubank, he's going to be inactive. He's out of the ring a year. Basically a year. So he's not getting any younger. He's back with Roy Jones. And I don't really think the Roy Jones partnership has worked with Eubank, to be honest with you. I think with Eubank is trying to box more. That's what Roy Jones has him doing. But I just don't. It seems to me like that he's caught between two styles. It's like he wants to do his normal reverted type uppercut, short shots, hooks, but he wants to box as well. And he's kind of in a limbo of, when do I do it, when do I not do it. So it's going to be interesting to see him against Liam Smith. Echo Usman versus Chris Congo on the undercard. I like that fight. Apparently Echo Usman is still with Queensbury. This is a good sign, because obviously Queensbury and Boxer have worked together before. They worked together with Joseph Parker versus Joe Joyce. So if we're in a situation now where Queensbury and Boxer are going to be able to work together to get a couple of these domestic level fights done, some might be on BT, some might be on Sky Sports, I think that's a good thing. And I actually like this fight. Chris Congo, he fought, was it Arthur Clay or something like that? What was the guy's name? He fought him on Fight Camp a couple of years ago, Luther Clay. And that was a really good performance by Chris Congo. He then came unstuck against Michael McKinson, and he's not looked the same since. So him against Usman is going to be a good fight. Now Fraser Clark is also on the undercard. Now originally I thought he was meant to be fighting, what was the guy's name? Kevin Johnson. So it's now back to TBA, who was Frank Warren's go-to guy. So we don't know who Clark's going to be fighting. Hopefully they get him someone good. I think the matchmaking they did for Clark last year was abysmal. And that's being kind. I mean, I don't know where they got some of these guys from. I really don't. Obviously, Sokolowski is a decent kind of journeyman who, he will beat you if you're not there. That sort of way. So that was fine. But realistically, the matchmaking for Fraser Clark, I felt, was appalling last year when he fought that guy and he knocked, and your man just didn't want to fight. He just went down in a couple of seconds. That was just really, it was horrible matchmaking. Horrible. I think Clark can be pushed a little bit quicker. I don't think he's got a massive ceiling, but he's better than that. Riakporhe versus Glowacki. Again, this isn't the Krzysztof Glowacki of old. This isn't the Krzysztof Glowacki who fought Coley, who got, completely annihilated. Even that, I don't think is this. So, again, I expect Riakporhe to win that fight, win it comfortably. Scotty Forrest versus Amy Bachunta. And Maddie Harris, and obviously Joseph Parker versus Jack Massey as well. That's a bit of a strange one, the Joseph Parker Jack Massey one. It's a real kind of, you're looking at it, you're like, alright, Jack Massey, a former cruiserweight, only loss came against Richard Riakporhe in 2019, but you're just kind of like, really, Parker? Oh, okay. I also seen Parker, now I haven't seen the full clip, but Sky interviewed him and the name Dylan White was being mentioned. Now, Joseph Parker and Dylan White, obviously, I thought this would happen as well. Dylan White, especially based upon how he looked against Jermaine Franklin, I think that a lot of people are going to be calling his name. And that's why I was saying again, if when Daniel Dubois is back from his injury, Frank Warren is going to want to be getting the checkbook out and trying to get Dylan White over to fight Daniel Dubois. And for Dylan White, it's really, I know obviously they're talking about, and I'll talk about Anthony Joshua's career path now in a sec, but they're obviously trying to get Joshua versus White on in the summer, and that'll probably pay him the most, yes. But what does Dylan White want now at this stage in his career? Does he want a big payday against Joshua in the summer, in which case, it's there, it's literally there, it's a big payday, or does he want to give himself a shot at winning a version of a world title, albeit a regular one? Whether you count it or not is really, I guess it's kind of irrelevant. I personally don't look at it as a world title. Personally, it's a regular title. It's a secondary kind of title, in my opinion. But some people do. Dylan White, I'm sure, would. Dubois does. Warren does. All them do. So, would he look at that and think, what, if just hypothetically speaking, if Frank Warren did offer it, because they were close to getting it done in the end of November, start of December, last year just gone. So, if they could get him over, it's his best shot at winning a world title. I would still pick Daniel Dubois, truth be told, over Dylan White, but I think it's more winnable than Joshua, put it like that. In terms of Warren's been a busy boy as of late. He's been a busy boy as of late. So Frank Warren, he has announced the signing. I already talked about this in Review of the Week, but I'll touch on it a little bit more. Moses Ituama. So he signed a long-term deal with Frank Warren. I was looking at some of the interviews with Ituama, and I was looking at some of the comments. I saw he gave an interview, it was for Queensbury Boxing's Instagram account, and one of the very first comment I read was from Lawrence Okoli of all people, and he commented saying, I'm paraphrasing here, but he said, I still can't get over a 15-year-old gave me the toughest spar I've ever had. And listening to him speak, the confidence that's there from Moses Ituama, I mean, some people I wouldn't call it arrogance, I would call it real confidence. I think he is I am so excited to see him in the pro game. I'm so excited to see his career progression. He talked about, actually, I think it was when he was sparring Lawrence Okoli, he was saying that he was only about 15, 16. He just left school. He was tired because at the time he was doing exams in school, and he's yawning in the ring. Shane McGuigan is like, are you okay? He's like, no, I'm just tired because, I had exams on. And he goes in and holds his own, more than holds his own by some accounts. I know he was saying he was getting the better of some of them. Well, I think we all, when we spar, or if you spar, you would kind of say, if it's an even Steven spar, you would kind of say to yourself, no, I got the, I know I've done that a few times. I've been like, who got the better? Like, I got the better of that spar. Anyone else, I got the better of that. I got the better of that. If it could be a nip and tuck one, but you'd always do that. But no, Moses Ituama, I think he is tremendously talented. He's actually been talking, which I'm kind of excited to hear about, a break of Mike Tyson's record. So Mike Tyson, obviously we know, youngest heavyweight champion of all time, broke that record off Floyd Patterson back in... Floyd Patterson won that when he beat Joey Maxim, back in 1956. He was 21 years old. Mike Tyson broke the record 30 years later in 19... No, was it 1985? Was it 1985? No, it was 1986, I think. Anyway, it was 1986 when he broke the record, when he beat Trevor Berbick. Can't recall who the youngest champion prior to what's his name, Floyd Patterson was prior to that. It wasn't Jack Johnson. Was it Jack Dempsey? No, Dempsey was young enough. He was in his mid-20s. He was 24 when he won the title. Get into boxing history. It might have been Jack Dempsey. I think he was about 24. It might have been Joe Lewis. I think Joe Lewis was younger when he fought Jimmy Braddock. Might have been Joe Lewis's record, truth be told. Because Marciano was retired when he was, what, 30? I'm going a long way. I think Marciano was 32, 33 when he retired. Because he won that title in 52 off Joe Walcott. And he held it for 4 years. I'm going off on a boxing history tangent. But, yeah, Moses Ituama is looking to break that record. Could he? I certainly think he's got talent. You never know what's going to happen when these belts get fragmented. You wouldn't know what would happen. Could he do it? Look, I love seeing records get broken. I do. As many of you will know, I love F1. Michael Schumacher, absolute idol of mine growing up. But I was glad when Max Verstappen broke his record, because I like seeing records get broken. He broke his record in terms of most wins in a season. He had the record of 13 wins in a season back in 2004. It was matched but never broken. Max Verstappen broke it this year with 15 wins in a season, and I can't wait to see that get broken, which it probably will eventually. It probably will eventually get broken, but probably not anytime soon. So I like seeing all these records get broken. I have a lot of hope in Moses Ituama. I rate him very highly. I've seen him in the amateurs. He looks... The way just the speed, the fluidity, the power, because there's definitely punching power there. There's a lot we need to see of him. In the pro games, at the end of the day, we don't know how good he is at taking a shot, if he has to come through adversity, how he'll be, if he's in a really tough fight, how will he be in terms of the heart department, etc. So they're all things we need to see. But in terms of the physical, the eye test, he's passing that eye test. I think he's very talented. He's definitely got bags of confidence to burn. You can see that in him. He's a very confident young man at 18 years old. And look, I've got a lot of faith in Moses Ituama. I think that Frank Warren, he really is, if you think about it, he's got Fury and Joyce. Fury is probably near the end. Joyce probably doesn't have much longer to go because he is getting up there in age. He's got Daniel Dubois then, who was in his mid-20s now. He's got David Adelaide on the come-up as well, who... A lot of people, I'm still kind of a little bit Adelaide, I'm kind of like that with Adelaide. And then he's got obviously Moses Ituama. So in terms of heavyweight, through the years, I mean, Frank Warren is in a really, really good place with that. And, I've always said a heavyweight division is my favourite division, personally. I love it. I love the fact that the punching power these guys have, it can change anything. You never really know if a fight's over until it's over, if you know what I mean, because with welterweight, superfly, etc., those divisions that I like as well, I believe the skill gap between the best and, say, below that is a lot greater than it is a heavyweight. And normally punching power, it's always a factor, but it's not as big a factor, I don't think, as it is a heavyweight. A heavyweight, you can just be like that, one punch, boom, you're gone. Be ahead on all three judges' scorecards, you get a bit lackadaisical, big shot goes in, boom, it's over. That's why I love heavyweight boxing. And that's why I think Frank Warren has done a really, really good move. He's done a really, really good move investing in heavyweights. The more heavyweights on the show, the more the merrier. And he's investing for the future. I think that he's done a great decision. Now, Moses Ituama has talked about breaking Tyson's record, but Frank Warren has talked about moving him slowly. So we're going to have to see who comes out on top in that one, whether it's the fighter who wants to move quickly or the promoter who wants to move slowly. We'll wait and see. But no, I'm very, very keen to see the progression of Moses Ituama in the pro games. I'm really excited to see him. I really have to say, I really am. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I really am. In terms of Eddie Hearn, I've already, talked about this So he's announced his 3-fight plan for Anthony Joshua moving forward, going into 2023. April, return against the top 15 opponent. Now, I had a look at the top 15 rankings, and realistically, when I look at them, like, if we're looking at top 15 in terms of heavyweight boxing now, I would say if they're looking for someone who has who's coming in off the back of a win as opposed to a loss, you're probably looking at an Oliver Lane. I would imagine anyway. It's a tricky fight for Joshua. I personally wouldn't do it like that. Personally, I would probably take the Dylan White fight first, and maybe then again an Ortiz or someone like that in the summer, and maybe then have a Valeen and full steam ahead in 2024. But obviously there's a lot of things to be taken into consideration. I talked about it already. AJ is getting paid very big money by DAZN. I don't know if it's necessarily as much as it was, because remember he signed the deal, which was something like 50 mil a fight, or give or take, something like that. That was before the Alexander Usyk fight. I'm assuming DAZN had contingency plans made. Maybe it's not going to be that much money. I don't know, but DAZN are still going to be paying him a shed load, a rake load of money. So they obviously want to have opponents that they can sell, put on pay-per-view, etc. That, the public could look at and say, okay, look, he looks a bit dangerous. Okay, he's fought Fury, he's coming out the back of wins, etc. If it's an opponent who's coming out the back of losses, maybe they have a couple of losses on their record, 4 or 5 stuff, it might be a harder sell. It probably would be a harder sell. So that's the way. That's why I can understand it from a business point of view that they would go this route, and obviously I think they're doing Dylan White in the summer because they probably want to do it in the stadium, probably a football team stadium, Tottenham Hotspur or someone like that, So yeah, that's what we're looking at for there. Obviously he's mentioned Fury or Wilder in the autumn. I would say probably Wilder, most likely. Yes, it is a fight. Take my money. That's alright. I just like, take my money. There you go. Take my money. See you later. Just want to see it. Wilder Joshua, edge in my seat kind of stuff. I'd watch it 100%. Do I think that's necessarily right for Joshua in terms of rebuilding? No, but I can understand it from a business point of view. From a business point of view, I can 100% understand that. Now, Eddie Hearn was also asked. Obviously, we saw Tank Davis and Conor Benn get into a little bust up on Twitter. And Eddie Hearn said, I love the fight, why not? Tank Davis has boxed at 140 pounds. Correct, he has. I'm sure he doesn't mind coming with 147 to do it. Conor Benn going to return early or mid 2023. That's a fact. He uses the word, that's a fact. Okay, well, we'll hear from you, Kat, and see what the story is there. Where is he going to return? Is he going to return to the UK, or is he going to return to the US, Australia, etc.? Whereabouts? In terms of Tank Davis versus Conor Benn, me personally, I'd be giving Conor Benn the edge in that. Tank Davis, if he was disciplined, probably could still fight at 100, maybe at a push, 130 pounds. If he was more disciplined at a push, because look at how many times has he missed 130 pounds in his career? How many times have we seen him out of shape? How many times have we seen Tank Davis just not looking like an athlete? If he was serious and was in shape, he'd probably be 135 pounds solid right now, and at a push probably still do 130. Conor Benn, yes, he's not the biggest 140 pound 47 pounder, but he's a lot bigger naturally than Tank Davis. He's a lot bigger. Tank Davis, how would his power translate? People could say, Conor Benn, he might not take a shot well. Yeah, but how well would, at the end of the day, you could be a tremendous puncher like Tank Davis is, but at some point when you start going up through the weights, it will start to diminish. You look at Inoue. Inoue is a rare example where he's been going up through the weights, his power's been getting better. But I reckon when he goes to kind of super bantam feather, we'll still see him get rid of guys, but I don't think we'll be seeing these big, bam, devastating kind of knockouts. Look, great, best example I'll give, right? Nonito Donaire, fighter I loved throughout his career. I think he's amazing. But you look at his punching power at bantamweight and you compare it to that at featherweight. Carl Frampton hasn't got an iron chin. And he did say Donaire does hit hard. He did buzz him a bit when they fought. But you got the impression that Frampton was able to deal with the power. He was able to deal with it. Goes in there with Hearn at 130 pounds, gets stopped. I know that was an over-the-hill Frampton, yes. But Donaire, pound for pound, you would say is a better puncher. But at that weight, it was just the power that was knocking the heads off and buzzing Inoue. at 118 pounds. It's not the same at 126, and I think it'd be that way for Tank Davis. I would say 140 is probably his limit in terms of if he can be a devastating puncher still. So I wouldn't imagine we get him and Conor Benn, truth be told. I'd say it will be Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia has been saying that he gets rid of Tank Davis in 2 rounds. 2 rounds. Confidence from Ryan Garcia. Look, I'm going to watch this fight with Tank Davis the weekend. I'll do a review in the morning after. I don't know how he's going to look in that fight, truth be told, but he's going to need to be at his best against Ryan Garcia, because Garcia is a good fighter. Yes, he makes mistakes. He's tremendously athletic. He does hit hard. His speed is tremendous. And if Tank Davis, I think Tank Davis, look, I don't know if, because I do feel as though he's regressed as a fighter, or stagnated more so. But if it was the best Garcia versus the best Tank Davis, I think Tank Davis wins. It's just a case of what Tank Davis do we have now. Eddie Hearn was also talking about Dimitri Bivol versus Canelo in the rematch. We talked about greatness, about legacy. Bivol is a fighter who's all about that. He has a chance to rematch Canelo Alvarez for undisputed at 168 pounds and then move up to fight Artur Beterbiev at 175. Well, I'd love to see him fight Artur Beterbiev this year, truth be told. I know he's talked about going down to 168 before. That was a couple of years ago. I wonder if he could make that weight safely now against Canelo. You see, at 168 pounds against Canelo, I'd give Canelo a slightly better. I'd still pick Bivol, but I'd give him a better chance down at 168 than I would at a 175. Okay, this is a good one. This is a really good one, and this is great news. I'm seeing 2 of my favourite fighters get fights announced. So Staniones versus Virgil Ortiz, which I think is going to be that fight is going to be fun. That's the best thing. That fight is going to be fun. It's for the regular WBA welterweight title. It's reportedly planned for the 18th of March, the day after Paddy's Day, in Texas. And another fighter who I'm very, very much keeping a very big eye on in 2023, I think he's going to have a big year, is Jesse Bam Rodriguez. He's going to fight Christian Gonzalez for the vacant WBO flyweight world title. Of course, he's moved down from Superfly. Obviously, he moved up to there from Light Fly. So he went from 108 all the way up to 115. He's gone to 112. He's going to fight for a vacant WBO flyweight title. I think that was vacated by Nakatani to move up to 115 pounds. So that's going to be interesting to see. I mean, I love watching. I think he is tremendously talented as Jesse Bam Rodriguez. He is one of the most talented fighters, and he's so young. The Zone they have a potential star there. I hope as well with Jesse Bam Rodriguez that, I'm liking the fact that there's people like him, there's people like Sonny Edwards in the lower weight divisions, because they're putting eyes on it. It's nice to see Sonny Edwards getting the exposure because he is a very good boxer. It's great to see Jesse Bam Rodriguez get all this exposure and constantly bring attention to these lighter weight divisions. I think it's brilliant because I like the lighter weights, and I think that the more attention we can give to these weights in this part of the world. I know in Japan they're very big on the lighter weights, but in America, in Europe, it's not really focused on them. And I hope to God that with those 2 guys and amongst others as well, we can build it for the future. Because I love flyweight. I love Superfly and 108. I think they're great divisions. In terms of, look, I've seen this. Dave Allen is going to be returning to the ring on February the 18th. He's lost 3 stone. How many times has he done that? He's returning on a Dennis Hobson card. So he's been fighting. His last 3 fights have been on Dennis Hobson cards. I've seen some people having a go at Eddie Hearn for getting him out on February the 18th. He hasn't fought on a Hearn show in 3 years. He's not with Eddie Hearn. He left Eddie Hearn back in 2020. So Dave Allen coming back has absolutely nothing. Some people are just idiots. They really are. They don't look at a fighter. They don't follow boxing enough. Having a go at Eddie Hearn for what's he done? He's not forced Dave Allen to come back. Seriously, Dave Allen coming back. Look, right? As a person, I like Dave Allen when he was on the come up, but as a person, no. And I think Dave Allen has a family now. He recently became a father last year. Dave Allen's had a very hard career. He's had a very hard career, and at the end of the day, people can say what they want. Oh, Eddie Hearn put him in this fight that he can't win, that he can't win. Well, did Eddie Hearn put a gun to Dave Allen's head and say, take that fight? No, he didn't. Dave Allen has a tongue in his mouth. He can say no, but he didn't. He took all them fights. He's taken a great deal of abuse in his career. I think that people talk about the David Price fight and the beating he took in that, and that wasn't nice. They talk about the Ortiz fight and the damage to his tongue, and again, not nice to see that happen. But the fight that really makes you kind of just wince every time you see it is that Tony Yoka fight. I mean, I think people really, they don't remember how bad that fight was for Dave Allen and how bad a beating he took in it. He took a tremendous amount of punishment in it. It really was. It got hard to watch after a couple of rounds. And when I see a fighter, especially Dave Allen was only in his mid-20s at that stage. When I see a fighter, Dave Allen's only about 30, 31. He's not old. When I see a fighter who's taken that amount of abuse in their careers, I just look and I just think, look, if you're financially set, which Dave Allen is, I believe he's got a couple of properties. If you're financially set and you don't need to box, and you've got a young little family now, they should be your priority. They really should be your priority, not boxing. Because I don't want to see any fighter be put in a situation where they physically can't look after their family because boxing has taken that much out of them, that they're struggling to speak, they're struggling to move, they're struggling to live as part of a normal daily life. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see the sport do that to someone. And I fear for Dave Allen because he's taken so much abuse in his career, not just in the ring, in professional fights, in sparring. I look at Alexander Usyk knocking him out on his feet. Literally knocked him out on his feet, and then I think he even said he didn't remember the spar after that. And Usyk, to his credit, was like, no, we're stopping. I don't want to see that. Now, I know he's probably not going to be going in there against anybody decent. I get that. But Dave Allen is a name. At some point, a call will probably come from an Eddie Hearn, from a Ben Shalom, from a Frank Warren, etc. And I just don't want to see him get his head taken off or be put in a situation where he cannot physically look after his family. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see any boxer go through that, truth be told. Regardless of my feelings towards that fight, I don't want to see that happen to any boxer. So that's the situation with Dave Allen. In terms of cards being announced, I seen Boxer announced. So they haven't announced where it's going to be. Well, it's going to be in London, but not where. And I'm seeing fights being announced. Vidal Riley on the February the 11th. I'm also seeing Tyler Denny. Tyler Denny looked so good against Bradley Ray in his last fight. He's fighting Brad Pauls on that show as well. And I think the headline act is going to be, or possibly the headline act, but I think it'll be right up there, is going to be Dan Aziz versus Thomas Fowler, French light heavyweight. They're going to meet for the vacant European light heavyweight title. So that's looking okay. That's looking to be an interesting show. February the 11th. So we're getting shows consistently now. All right, we're getting shows consistently announced. So we've got a good little run over this site, don't we, when you think about it? Because we have Tank Davis this week. We have FA Jagba next week. We have that Misfit show. I'm not personally going to watch it because there's no one I want to watch, but it's there if anyone does want to watch it. And then we have Eubank versus Smith. Then we have Yard versus Beterbiev. We've nothing as far as I'm aware on February the 4th. We have this guy's show then on the 11th. And then we have Lee Wood versus Mauricio Lara. And I'm seeing here, how do you pronounce that name? Oh yeah, Shavon Clark to take on Dex Spellman, English Cruiserweight Eliminator. Is it Eliminator? No, yeah, it is an Eliminator for the English Cruiserweight title on the undercard of Lara Wood. Now, Lara Wood hasn't been officially announced yet, but I suspect that is imminent. And they have a bit of time as well, I suppose. So that appears to be most of the news in a nutshell. I enjoyed that now, I have to say. I enjoyed that. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Obviously, a premiere in this hopefully probably gets it up before 9:30, give or take. Hopefully. But I hope you all enjoyed the video, people. Obviously, we've got plenty more to do this week. Tomorrow, hopefully, fingers crossed, everything goes well. We can get a live up. I haven't done a live in a while. I missed them. I miss having the interactions, having the chat with you guys. So we'll get that live done hopefully at some point tomorrow, probably about 7:30, 7:45, give or take. And yeah, hopefully we can keep going at this, do a few more shorts, get a bit more out the weekend. So yeah, that's the thing for the new year. I want to just be as active as I can be on here. And I think that I think I know myself. Like, I went through, without going into detail, obviously, what happened last. Well, you didn't know what happened, but I had a very bad stage last year, kind of end of August through September, where I was kind of like, can't upload videos because I just can't really bring myself to even do anything. The channel suffered for that. I think that's the reason why I didn't hit 10k before the new year. I think that's the reason, because I just let it stagnate, and it was my own fault for being stupid. So the goal is not to do that again. Just to keep it active and keep it going, keep the ball rolling, and consistent progression on here. So that's the plan. So I'll leave it there, people. Hope you enjoyed the video. Smash the like button, of course, if you haven't already. Help your boy out. Hope you enjoyed it, people. Peace.